Hey there, Crop Corner family. Before we dive into today's game-changing technique, I need to tell you about something that happened in my own garden just 3 weeks ago. I was walking through my raised beds on a rainy Tuesday morning, coffee in hand, when I lifted the mulch around my tomato plants and nearly dropped my mug. The soil was absolutely teeming with earthworms, more than I'd ever seen in 15 years of gardening. Fat, healthy night crawlers and red wigglers were everywhere, turning my heavy clay into the richest, most crumbly soil I'd ever felt. The secret, a simple ingredient I'd sprinkled just once 30 days earlier. What I discovered wasn't just luck. It was the result of understanding exactly what earthworms crave, and how to deliver it in the most effective way possible. Today, I'm sharing this exact technique with you, because every serious gardener deserves to experience the incredible transformation that happens when your soil becomes a worm paradise. This isn't about buying expensive amendments or complicated composting systems. This is about one simple sprinkle that creates an underground ecosystem so rich, your plants will thank you with the best harvest of your life. So, let's talk about the underground gold rush. What worms actually want down there. Earthworms are honestly like living soil factories, but, most gardeners go about attracting them in all the wrong ways. We tend to just toss kitchen scraps on top of the soil or maybe add some generic compost and then, we just hope for the best. Here's what I've learned after, years of soil testing and counting worms. Earthworms don't just want any old organic matter. What they're really after is a pretty specific carbon to nitrogen ratio, the right amount of moisture retention, and probably most important, a steady food source that breaks down at just the right pace. Now, the real magic ingredient that can turn any raised bed into, basically worm heaven, is finely ground cornmeal mixed with used coffee grounds in a 2-to-1 ratio. This combo creates, the perfect storm of conditions that earthworms just can't resist. The cornmeal gives you slow-release carbohydrates to feed all those beneficial soil microbes, and the coffee grounds add nitrogen while making the soil just a bit more acidic, the way most soil-dwelling worms like it. When you mix these two into your soil, they kick off a kind of fermentation process that makes exactly the right organic acids and beneficial bacteria that earthworms are always searching for. So, let's talk about the science behind the magic, and why this combination really works. Most gardeners don't realize that earthworms don't actually eat soil. They eat the microorganisms living in the soil. When you sprinkle cornmeal and coffee grounds into your raised bed, you're not just feeding worms directly, you're feeding the entire microbial ecosystem that worms depend on. The cornmeal acts as a substrate for beneficial bacteria and fungi, while the coffee grounds provide nitrogen that these microorganisms need to multiply rapidly. Within 48 hours of application, your soil temperature will drop slightly as microbes begin breaking down the cornmeal, creating the cool, moist environment that earthworms prefer. The coffee grounds retain moisture while slowly releasing nitrogen, maintaining the perfect conditions for microbial activity. As these microorganisms multiply and begin decomposing the organic matter, they release the exact chemical signals that attract earthworms from surrounding areas. This process is so effective because honestly, it mimics the natural forest floor conditions where earthworm populations really thrive. In nature, fallen leaves and organic debris create layers of decomposing material with varying carbon to nitrogen ratios. Our cornmeal and coffee ground mixture, it recreates this layered ecosystem in a concentrated, easily applicable form. The perfect application, really comes down to timing and technique that guarantees results. The key to maximizing this technique lies in proper application timing and method, so you'll want to apply this mixture in early spring when soil temperatures consistently stay above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or in fall before the first frost. These transition periods are when earthworms are most active and, they're out there seeking new territory to establish their burrows. For every 100 square feet of raised bed space, just mix 2 cups of fine cornmeal with 1 cup of used coffee grounds. The cornmeal must be finely ground. Coarse cornmeal just takes too long to break down, and honestly it won't create the rapid microbial activity you need. Sprinkle this mixture evenly across the soil surface, then work it into the top 2 inches using a hand cultivator or rake. Water the area thoroughly but gently, making sure the mixture is moistened without creating waterlogged conditions. Cover the treated area with a 2-inch layer of organic mulch. Shredded leaves, grass clippings, or straw work perfectly. This mulch layer maintains consistent moisture levels and provides additional organic matter as it slowly decomposes. The combination of the cornmeal coffee mixture below ground and the decomposing mulch above creates an irresistible environment that earthworms will migrate toward within days. Maintaining your worm paradise really comes down to some long-term soil health strategies. Once earthworms settle into your raised beds, keeping their population healthy means understanding their life cycle and what they need to thrive. Earthworms can actually reproduce pretty quickly if the conditions are just right, but they're also quite sensitive to things like changes in soil pH or any chemical disruptions. You'll want to avoid using synthetic fertilizers or pesticides in these treated areas because honestly, those can kill off both the earthworms and the beneficial microorganisms they rely on. Go ahead and reapply that cornmeal and coffee ground mixture every 6 to 8 weeks during the growing season, but just remember to cut the amount in half compared to your first application. Too much organic matter can actually lead to anaerobic conditions which will drive your earthworms away. And, make sure you're keeping an eye on soil moisture. Earthworms really need things to stay consistently moist, but not waterlogged, to stick around and thrive. The most successful worm habitats I've created maintain soil moisture at 40 to 60% capacity year-round. During dry spells, water deeply but infrequently to encourage earthworms to burrow deeper rather than migrate away from your beds. In winter, add an extra layer of mulch to insulate the soil and prevent freezing, which allows earthworm populations to remain active longer into the cold season. Beyond the sprinkle maximizing your investment in soil health, the transformation you'll see in your raised beds goes far beyond increased earthworm populations. As worms process organic matter through their digestive systems, they create worm castings, the richest natural fertilizer available. So, here's something interesting. These castings actually contain 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and get this, 11 times more potassium than the surrounding soil. Your plants will respond with deeper root systems, improved disease resistance, and honestly, you're going to notice significantly increased yields. The improved soil structure created by earthworm tunnels enhances both water retention and drainage, which, reduces your irrigation needs while also preventing root rot. This technique has helped me reduce my fertilizer costs by 75% while at the same time doubling the productivity of my raised beds. This simple technique has revolutionized soil health for thousands of gardeners in our Crop Corner community. If this method transforms your raised beds the way it has mine, make sure to subscribe to our channel and share your results in the comments below. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest soil building secrets, and share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to take their soil health to the next level. Your garden and your earthworms will thank you for it.